Oi, gente! Hello, everyone! Eu sou Virginia, sou professora brasileira. I'm Virginia, your Brazilian Portuguese teacher. I'm so happy to be here with you today, and our lesson today is about pronunciation, Brazilian Portuguese pronunciation. I'm having issues with my comments section here. I'm not seeing any comments. So let me know in the comments if you can see me or hear me, and I'll see if it's working. The program that I use for these live sessions, they made some updates, so things are a little bit different. Oh, I can see a comment here for Willie. Oi, Willie. I think it's just a delay, so everything is okay. We'll be here for about 30 minutes. I hope you can stay with us until the end. I'll try to cover as much content as possible, and at the end of our class, we'll have a small test so I can help you improve your pronunciation. Of course, I cannot hear you, but I can. We're going to do some exercises together to help you improve your Brazilian Portuguese pronunciation, okay? Okay, now I can see your comments. Olá, olá! Will, David, tudo bom? Albert, Maria, Margus, Cassandra, olá! De onde você é? Let me know where are you from. De onde você é? Let me know in the chat. Olá, Gabriela. Olá, da Rússia. Cassandra. Also, when you leave a comment for me or question, please add your name. If your name is not on your profile name, please tell me your name so I know how to address you. I'm going to share my screen with you so we can get started. We have a lot to cover today. But first, if you have never signed up for my free mini course, pronunciation mini course, now it's the right time to do this. In this free course, I cover a lot of topics that we're going to cover in this class, but you have access to exercises to practice imitation and improve your pronunciation, and you have lifetime access to this resource, and it is completely free. You can use the QR code on the screen to sign up. You also find the link below this video, okay? Kiki from Austria, Jack do Kentucky, olá, Jack. Willie de Dallas, tudo bom? Oi, Shannon, como está? Mark de Trinidade, Brenda do Canadá. Olá, Denis de Paris. Oi, gente. Okay, so let's continue. We are going to start talking about the alphabet, o alfabeto em português. Very basic, so this class is for beginner level students, but I always recommend that more advanced learners go back to the beginning to review, right? So if you are intermediate or advanced, I think this could be also a good review for you. So let's practice how to pronounce, how to say the letters in Portuguese. This is so useful when you have to spell something, when you have to spell your last name, or if you're speaking with someone and you need to spell something. It's really useful to know how to say the alphabet. So let's practice together. I'm going to say one by one, and one small pause after each letter so you can repeat after me. This is a pronunciation class, so it's really important that you practice out loud. It's the only way to improve your pronunciation is speaking, pronouncing out loud. Okay, so let's do this together. So repeat after me. Let's go over all of these, all of the alphabet, all letters, okay? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, X, Y, Y, Z, Z. Was this any of these new to you? We have some weird names, right? Y, W, I think it's a funny one. I will go over many of these consonants today, specifically focusing on phonological rules that are different, usually different from other languages. So I'm basing this lesson on many questions that I've received from students throughout the past few years. I had a class this past January 8, and in this class I focused on vowel sounds. So today I'm not going to cover vowel sounds because they would take the entire class, but I do recommend after this class, if you have time, you can go and watch the recording of this other class if you missed that class. The link is below this video. Okay, so in this class from January 8, I talk about the 12 vowel sounds that we have in Portuguese. We have 12 vowel sounds. Oral and nasal sounds, I talk about all the details in that class, so I highly recommend you watch the recording if you have not already. Let's talk then about consonants today, starting with the consonants D and T. If you have been learning Portuguese, you know what I'm talking about. You know these consonants are tricky because they change the pronunciation depending on the vowel that comes right after it, right? So the D has a hard D sound when it's followed by the vowels A, O, and U. Right? So we have the sounds da, do, do. The very clear D sound. As in the words data, dois, dúvida. Right? Very regular D, hard D sound. However, when you find the D before the vowels E or I, then it depends. And here we have the accent factor. So the pronunciation of the letter D will change depending on the accent. In my accent, I would say G when it's at the end of a word. Let's see examples here in words. We have dedo. So here you see at the beginning of a word, it's a hard D sound. Deitar, agradecer. So here you see the DE. It's actually at the beginning or in the middle of a word. So the most common pronunciation here is D. Dedo, deitar, agradecer. But when you find the letters DE at the end of a word, then it's very common to pronounce this syllable as G. Cidade, depende, liberdade. Not everyone in Brazil will pronounce these words this way, but this is a very common accent in São Paulo, Rio, most big cities. Not everywhere, as I said. And in my accent, the letters D-I, D-E are always pronounced as G. Always. Does not matter the position. For example, dia, médico, dividir. Okay? So some people would say dia, médico, dividir. That sounds weird to me because that's not my accent. But Brazil is so big, so many different accents. So whenever we have some rules that are followed everywhere in Brazil, like the ones that I mentioned before, like before the letters A, O, and U, it is always da, do, do. We don't see variations of accent here, right? But this sound, J, J, is a variation of accent. Okay, so some people will make this pronunciation G, some other people will not. Okay, so if you're not sure, you can always use the hard D everywhere. It is not wrong. There is no problem always using the D sound. Okay? After I talk about the letter T, I will go to the comment section and see if you have any questions, specific questions about the letters D and T. Okay, think if you have any questions. So the consonant T is very similar to the consonant D in terms of these phonological rules. So before the vowels A, O, and U, we have a regular T sound, which is very common, just like many other languages, right? Talvez, todo, tudo, T, T. But same thing happens before the vowels E and E, also related to accent. I could say ch instead of t. And here again the same rule applies. Usually if the letters T, E are placed at the beginning of or middle of a word, the pronunciation will be t, but it will be pronounced as chi at the end of a word. Let's see examples. Telefone, entender, inteligente, quente, gente, assistente. You see that this ch sound is always followed by the vowel sound E. So whenever we have the letter E at the end of a word, many times the sound changes from E to E, right? This is called vowel reduction. This is very common in Brazil. So instead of saying inteligente, I would say inteligente. But again, this is my accent. Some people would say inteligente. It's not wrong. It's completely correct. Okay? And again, in my accent, whenever I have the vowel E, I will always pronounce the T as chi. That's how it sounds natural to me. Tia, dentista, Haiti. Some people would say tia, dentista, Haiti. It's even hard for me to pronounce the T sound because in my accent, I would always say chi. It's really important that you understand these accent variations because there is no standard accent in Brazil. You find that it really depends. Where are you going? Where are your friends from? What? So it's really important to understand, but how are you going to speak? Then it can be your choice, or you can just imitate your Brazilian friends or your teacher, right? You can choose one of these variations, but remember that some rules are really fixed and applied, like with these consonants D and T, before vowels A, O, and U is always T sound, and we have this Ch and G sound. This is a variation of accent, okay? Questions, comments? I want to take a look at your comment sections here. Lacking, I'm glad. I cannot share all the comments today. For some reason, the technology has changed, but I can share one by one. Obrigada, Marcos. Olá, José. Okay, just see if you guys have any questions. I'm going to continue now. I think there is a big delay between when I speak and then when you write comments. Hola, Ro. It's very similar to Spanish, but not the same, right? So you have to be careful. We are going to cover some consonants today. They're very different from Spanish, especially the J. It's very different in Portuguese. Let's continue. Que bom que está claro, Helen. Obrigada. Vamos continuar. Vamos falar sobre as consoantes G e J. G and J. This you have to be careful here because I hear all the time students saying J instead of J. Be careful with this. Here we have the J sound when we're using the D letter, right? But when we use the G, we never have the J sound. It's always J. J or G, right? So before the vowels A, O, and U, we have the G sound. G, like como em gostar, gato, guru. But before the vowels E and E, we have the J sound. Gente, gelo, longe, girafa, ginástica, colégio. So here, this is not a variation of accent. This is a phonological rule applied everywhere in Brazil. Okay, when it is involved, when there is a variation of accent, I'll always let you know. If I don't tell you this depends on the accent, it's probably a rule that is followed everywhere in Brazil. Okay, so this is a rule, phonological rule. It means before the letter G, before these vowels is always G, never G. Okay, unless you add the letter U between the G and the vowel, right? So if you have G-U-E, then we pronounce G, guerra, aluguel, guitarra. Okay, so to have this G sound with the vowels E and E, we need to add the letter U in the middle, and the letter U is not pronounced. We do have some exceptions, but we're not going to talk about this today. Most of the time, the letter U is not pronounced. It's only there to make the G sound like G. How about the consonant J? There is only one sound in Portuguese for the letter J, which is always J. Always. It's not H, like in Spanish. It's not J, it's always J. Okay? Like in the words viajar, hoje, jiboia, jogo, junto. Okay, so both G and J have a similar sound. It is a continuous sound. It's j. Like in my name in Portuguese, it's not Virginia. It's Virginia. J. Okay, there's no J, it's J. J. Let's talk now about the letters R and S. After a few minutes, I'll go back to the chat. If there is any word that comes to mind that you're not sure how to pronounce or any related question, let me know. Letters R's and the letters R and S, they also have many details. As you can see, these phonological rules, they are always related to the position of the word of the letter in the word, and many times related to what comes before or after that specific letter. So pay attention to these details. So the consonant R, for example, it changes pronunciation depending on where it's placed in the word. Also, it depends if it is followed by a vowel or not. So at the beginning of a word, the R is pronounced as H. There are some, when it comes to the letter R, there are so many variations of accent. So there's always variation of accent here in all these examples. But the most common pronunciation is here from the throat, right? It's a H, similar to the H in American English, but could also be similar to the French R, a little bit more stronger. Examples in words: rato, rio, rua. I say like ha, ha. It could be r, r. Also acceptable here. Between two vowels, the R is like a flap, r, r. It's vibrant, but it's quick. It's not long, vibrant like the Italian R, like r. It's more like quick. Caro, America, amarelo, r, r. It's very similar to the flap T in English, like in the word water, r, r, r. Caro, amarelo, America. So this is between two vowels. But then also between two vowels, we have two R's. And here again, the sound goes back to the throat. Carro, correr, sorriso. Okay, so the difference between carro with two R's and caro. Okay, they're different words, of course, different pronunciation of the letter R. So here is r, caro, and here is h, carro, carro. As I said, there are some minor accent variations here as well. And then we have the most funny situation of the letter R, and this is the question that I receive every single week, I think, for the past few years. How to pronounce the R at the end of syllables. So that means at the end of words, or sometimes in the middle of a word, like in the word porta, right? So when you find the R at the end of syllables, especially at the end of words, it can have 4 different ways of pronouncing it, right? So it could be here, h, falar, porta, falar, porta. It could be like the flap T, like r, falar, porta. It could be also the r, the like American R, falar, porta. But also at the end of words, many times the R, it disappears, right? We just hear the vowel, falar. Vou falar com ela. This is also very common, only usually at the end of words, specifically verbs in the infinitive form. This is very common. All these are correct, and these are all variations of accent, okay? Regarding the letter S, we also have some things similar, just like the letter R, but I think the S is easier than the letter R. There are there are less variations. So just like the letter R, it has the different pronunciation if it is at the beginning of a word or in the middle between 2 vowels. So at the beginning of a word, the S sounds like a regular S. S. Sábado, sol, cansado. But if you find the S between 2 vowels in the middle of a word, it is pronounced as a Z sound. Z, like as in zebra. And it's a very strong sound, it's very voiced, right? You can see the vibration here in your vocal cords. Casa, rosa, Brasil, Brasil. And we also have the double S, and in this case, it also sounds like a S, right? Passado, professor, assistir. And when you find the S at the end of words, we can also have a variation of accent here. It could be like a regular S, for example, casas, just the plural, right? The plural in Portuguese, most of the time you just add the S, casas, but also could be casas, and it could be a Z sound depending on the word that comes after it. So we have more flexibility when the S is placed at the end of words or at the end of syllables, like posto, could be posto or posto. Okay, so we have these 2 very common pronunciations, posto or posto. The second one, sh, is very common in Rio de Janeiro, but also common in other areas in Brazil. Okay, let me check the comment section. Let me know if you have any comments, questions for me. So, borracha, borracha. We are going to talk about the CH now. Oh, Goiânia. This is tricky because I have many vowels, right? So repeat after me. Goiânia, Goiânia. So we do pronounce every single vowel here. Goiânia, 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 Goiânia. I think there's an I missing here. Goiânia. Question from Aizaria. I thought the S sound was just a sh, was Portugal, Portuguese. Deus, yeah. It is common in Brazil as well. And I think it is common in regions where there is a lot of Portuguese influence. We had lots of immigration from Portugal, of course. So Rio de Janeiro is one of those places. Also Florianopolis in the south. I mean, Santa Catarina. It depends on the place. Some people would also pronounce as sh. In other regions in Brazil as well. It really depends on the region. But in Rio de Janeiro, it's very common to pronounce the S as sh at the end of syllables. Chiado means exactly this. So when you say, oh, this person speaks chiado, it means it pronounced the S as a sh. That's what it means. So instead of saying casas, saying casas. I'm speaking chiado with the sh sound, which is very common in Rio de Janeiro. So we always say that in Rio, people speak chiado. Okay, see if there are any other questions here. Could we have the file? I have not prepared this file for download, but if you sign up for the mini course, you have access to all of this, okay? Because I got this content from this course that is free, and I shared the QR code at the beginning of the class, and also you find the link below the video. So sign up for it. It's completely free, and you have access to all the PDFs and also extra exercises to practice everything that we're covering today. Excellent questions, everybody. I'm going to continue, and we have some time at the end to answer. Shada como Sean Connor. Yeah, that is the name Sean is chiado, right? Grata, grata, gr. So the GR is gr. So we have the g sound and the r sound. Grata. Okay, we still have some minutes, so I'll try to cover the last part of the lesson is just about the L and the H, which is really quick. So the L at the beginning of words is pronounced as L, regular L sound. Livro, palavra, cabelo. But at the end of syllables, attention, the L is pronounced as a U. This is something that will notice your foreign accent within seconds if you pronounce the L at the end of syllables. So repeat after me to practice. Brasil, Brasil. Fácil, fácil. Alto, alto. This is really important if you want to have a Brazilian pronunciation, okay? Of course, if you pronounce the L, everyone will understand you, but it doesn't sound like a Brazilian pronunciation. The consonant H in Portuguese is really simple. It's mute. There is no sound, unless sometimes we pronounce the H when we're using like words from English, but in Portuguese words, the H is silent. História, hotel, humano, okay? But if you find the H after the letters C, L, or N, then we have what we call dígrafos, which are like we have two letters that have one single sound, and these are very common in Portuguese. The CH is pronounced as a sh, just like the SH. Chave, chuva, chapéu. Remember that, it's never cha. The CH in Portuguese is never cha, it's always sh. The LH is pronounced more or less like LE. It's trickier, but you have to just practice. Julio, velho, filha, lha. You kind of have to touch the tongue on the top of your mouth and slide it. Lha, lha, lha. Julio, velho, filha. And the NH is pronounced like the Spanish ña, or the word gnocchi. Everyone loves gnocchi, right? Amanhã, vinho, junho. So remember, whenever you see this combination, it's not amanhã, right? It's amanhã. Remember, it's one sound. So let's practice. How would you say this word? So I want you to say it before I say it, so you can access your memory, everything that we talked about today. See if you can say this word before I say it. Gerente, gerente, gerente. It means manager. This is my accent. Some people would say gerente, gerente. It's also fine. How about this word? Sonho, sonho, sonho. So the ñ sound, the O at the end sounds like a weak U sound. This happens a lot at the end of words, but you could also say sonho. It's also correct. So it could be O or U when the letter O is placed at the end of words. How about this one? Hospital, hospital, hospital. So the H is mute. The S could be hospital, if you want to speak with a carioca accent. The L does not sound like an L. It's U, hospital. How about this one? Cachorro, cachorro, cachorro. So we have the CH, which sounds like sh. We have the double R, which is pronounced like ha, 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 the most common accent. And the last O could be O or U. Cachorro, cachorro. Both are correct. How about this one? Julho, julho. It's the month. It could be julho or julho. Both are correct. This one, obviously, you know, but I really want you to pay attention to here. The I in Brazil is really open. It's not bra, it's bra. And the L is not O, it's U. So if you want to make Brazilians happy, pronounce the name of our country. Brasil, Brasil, Brasil. This one. Casaco, casaco. The S here is between two vowels, right? So the Z sound. Z. Casaco. And this last one. Inteligente. Inteligente. So this first T is T because it's in the middle. Here we have J. It's not J. Not inteligente, inteligente. And this last TE could be T or chi. In my accent, I say inteligente, but you could say inteligente, it's fine. Okay, everyone, comments, questions. It's past 1:30 already, but I just want to make sure that I answer any last questions that you have. And I'm gonna leave this here on the screen. So if you have not signed up for this free mini course yet, I recommend you do. You find a review of everything that we covered today and more, and also downloadable PDFs so you can, make notes, and also you find exercise so you can play and repeat to really practice pronunciation. Let me see any comments that you have. I'm glad you enjoyed the class, Marcos. Obrigada. Oh, is Hebrew very different? I know nothing about Hebrew. Oh, you did the mini course? Yeah, there's so many variations. I try to really talk about the complexities today so you understand there are so many nuances when it comes to Brazilian Portuguese pronunciation. I'm glad you enjoyed the class, Humberto. Yes, you could say inteligente or intelligente. Both ways are correct. I say intelligente. That's how it sounds natural to me. Honor. So in Portuguese, you say honra. Honra. It's H-O-N-R-A. Honra. 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 So you can read, but you can't speak. It's just practice, You can only, to dominate a skill, you have to practice that specific skill. I recommend start with this mini course. You have like many exercises to do repetition. And maybe one of our other courses can also help you. I cannot see your name, but yeah. You can go to our website and see there are many resources that can help you with your Portuguese. Uau, que legal! Capoeira, eu amo capoeira, é tão lindo. Brasil, exatamente, Andrew, é isso aí, Brasil. Obrigada pela presença na aula. I don't know about that, but I don't know. But I love capoeira, so. So Rob also added some links in the chat for you guys. Cool question from just remember to have in online courses. I hear different versions of sou de Estados Unidos. What's the most Estados Unidos? I'm not sure I understand your question. Estados, I would say so. So here would not be G, would be dos, because Estados Unidos is it's a plural masculine noun. So I would say sou dos Estados Unidos. Sou dos Estados Unidos. Sou dos Estados Unidos. Not sure I answer your question. Yeah, the S is tricky. Okay. Você teria programa? I don't offer this type of assistance. I can help you with your Portuguese, though. Eu posso te ajudar com o seu português. Não, eu não ensino inglês para brasileiros, Márcia. Ok, queridos. Muito obrigada pela presença. Thank you so much for being here today. I recommend look for the links below the video for the mini course and also the other lesson that I had in January on vowels. That lesson is really, really important. I hope you enjoyed this class and I see you soon in the next class. Tchau, tchau. Até a próxima. Tchau.